Good morning, students. Today, 10th standard English, grammar, prepositional phrase. First of all, what is meant by preposition? Preposition means a verb governing and usually preceding a noun or pronoun and expressing a relationship. Expressing a relationship to another word or element in the clause, as in the man on the platform on. She arrived after dinner. What did you do it? So, same thing here. The word shows what are the examples of the preposition, a function word that typically combines with a noun phrase to form a phrase which usually expresses a modification or a prediction. Other words from preposition frequently asked questions about preposition example sentences. Learn more about the preposition. So there are so many definitions of the preposition. So any member of a class of words found in many languages that are used in before nouns, pronouns or other substantives to form. A prepositional phrase. Today in your class you are going to learn prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase is a group of words consisting of a preposition, its object and any words that modify the object. Most of the time, a prepositional phrase modifies a verb or a noun. These two kinds of prepositional phrases are called adverbial phrases and adjectival phrases respectively. Now, we will see what are the examples of the preposition and in the sentence. He sat on the chair. There is some milk in the fridge. She was hiding under the table. So, there are so many examples. Why this? What part of the sentence is a prepositional uh, phrase? Where you will use? What part of the sentence is a prepositional phrase? Once again, I'll repeat. A prepositional phrase has two basic parts. One on the preposition plus one or more nouns or pronouns that serve as the object of the preposition. Preposition before is a word that shows how a noun or a pronoun is related to another word in a sentence. The common preposition are listed in the table. Are listed in the table at the end of the article. We will see later. Now, how do you know that the prepositional phrase as you suggested? A prepositional phrase, there is a link word. There's a kind of word, link word, prepositional phrase. We will see in so many sentences. A prepositional phrase is a group of words that begins with a preposition and ends with something called the object of the preposition. We went fishing with Ben. This preposition, object of the preposition. A prepositional phrase begins with preposition and ends with the object of the preposition. Now, we will see we went with Ben. The prepositional phrase is with Ben. Preposition with Ben is the object of the preposition. So we will see so many examples later. Next part, preposition. Here are some examples. Begin with Here are some examples of propositional phrase. The phrases themselves are underlined. The boy jumped over the log. The girl ran around the house. The case of bottles fell. The boxes of flour were heavy. Object of a proposition example with pride. With is the preposition, pride is the object of the proposition. With preposition, utmost modifier, pride, object of a proposition. Utmost and pride is called a noun phrase. In the lesson, if you ask the question, what are the prepositional phrase? What, who, where, when, how, why? You will give the answer. So there is a woman beside the big man. Modifies the woman. Prepositional phrase is beside the big man. Prepositional phrase. Beside is links the woman and the big man. Links connect பண்ணுது. So the prepositional phrase object is the object of the preposition. We walk after we eat breakfast. Take down the clause first, subject, and then head predicated. Predicator. The clause divides into subject and predicate, and then adjunct preposition phrase, and then head and complement. Head preposition is after, complement clause. From that subject be, predicate is eaten breakfast. So we walk after we eat breakfast. From the picture you can understand easily. Pattern based writing, quick and easy. Simple preposition, color coded prepositional phrase. The old schoolhouse on the hill top is haunted. Which schoolhouse? The one on the top. Adverbial prepositional phrases. The children sang a song in the evening. When is the evening? Verb complement prepositional phrases. Sally is inside the store. Completion. Sentence adverb prepositional phrases. Considering the circumstances, he decided to run. Modifies the sentence. Patterns based writing, it will be very useful for you to write the essay. Same thing. Prepositional phrase definition. Once again, just like a recapitulation, group of words, a preposition, object preposition, and modifiers. The genie from the brass lamp granted 3 wishes. From preposition. Modifiers, the brass lamp. Object of the proposition, பொருள், preposition of the பொருள் lamp. Granted 3 wishes. The genie describes the prepositional phrases. From the brass lamp, prepositional phrases. Look at the picture. Think and frame the sentence in your own for your use. Prepositional phrases. At the ice street, at risk, at one side, at a fraction, at the outset, at the end, at side, at the double, at one time, at the advantage, at a price. In this prepositional phrase, you can take it at once, at the beginning, at the expense of, at the last of, at any rate you can buy. So, from these phrases, you have to frame in your own sentence at night, at noon, etc. Think it and frame it. Prepositional phrases. The new railroad is under construction. After 2 trial runs, we did it for real. All people all speak at the same time. By the time I got there, you had gone. By the way, how is John? Could you put your ideas down on paper. Do not waste time with regret. Employees can buy books at a discount. There are some words in red and blue. Before that modifies, before the phrases, before noun or adverb or adjective. So, take for example, he is on trial for life. I am in debt to the bank for my car loans. I ask for her hand with all respect. I believe marriage is for life. Decide never tell tales out of school. Perhaps they are already there by now. Please sit down for a while. She danced with abandon. She described the accident in detail. She has put her house up for sale. She is the best by far. So learn so many prepositional phrase and then thinking. Preposition linking like a who and I, in and out, and for and by. Look at the birds in the nest, and rose on the tree. Look at the tree, rose on the tree. Look at the bird in the நெஸ்டுக்குள்ள இருக்கு. Gift for you, உனக்காக. Sit by me. ரெண்டு பேர் உட்காந்துருக்காங்க. Sit by. So there are bold letters that indicates the preposition. With that preposition, prepositional phrase by degree, by design, by link, by, at, for, in, on. At the low F, at the price, for a good cause, for the benefit of, for a reason, in arrears, in essence, in excess of, on watch, on schedule, on the record, on the road, on earth, on pain of, on the air, on balance, on a diet. So, by, at, for, in, on. From that prepositional phrase list, frame the sentence, know the meaning. In next class, I'll teach you in Tamil. This class, general. On Thursday, I'll teach you each and everything in Tamil. Prepositional phrase, same thing what I told. Took an umbrella, that's simple. The apples are in full bearing. The army is on move. Told already, the woman beside John ran into the shop, happy with you. Same thing again I am explaining. Prepositional object. Beside John, into the shop, your prepositional phrase. Strictly speaking, this can be a noun including a proper noun, pronoun, noun group, or gerund, a verb in the noun. So the nouns, pets, dog, the table, love, they are in love. Proper noun, marry. I went to Bangkok, marrying. Pronoun, you, him, us. She spoke to him. Noun group, my first job. I was poor before my first job. Gerund, she is passionate about swimming. Function of a prepositional phrase. The prepositional phrase functions as an adjective or adverb to modify a noun, verb or adjective. The woman beside John functions as an adjective modifies the noun. He works before lunch. Happy, say, there is a woman beside the big man. Prepositional phrase, same thing, I told already. Forms of the preposition, one word preposition, complex preposition, etc. You can learn yourself. The types of preposition, place under the bed, movement towards horizon, means with a blunt instrument, possession, a friend of mine, time on Sunday, manner by train, accompaniment without a job, purpose done for that. So in that, many prepositions have more than one meaning. The meaning can be literal in the box or metaphorical in love. The literal meaning fall into several categories, what I just told you. Note that many prepositions belong to more than one category. Example, on the table on Monday with a friend with a screwdriver. This is from my wife and me. That's between him and her. Mary gave it to the who, where, when. What question? What are you interested in? Relative clause, the plan that they are working on. Infinitive, do you have someone to go with? Passive, she hates being stared at. Same thing here we are explaining. Simple illustration for proposition activities. Help the students understand the proposition of place and movement and simple illustration. Under the wall, under, through the pipe, across the bridge, or proposition tells a ball above, over, below, under. So the use of activity is also given. With a rule, a proposition is already followed by a noun. It's never followed by a verb. Noun will be included. Noun, dog, table, love, proper noun. We walk after we eat breakfast. Take down the clause first, subject, and then head predicated. The clause divides into subject and predicate, and then adjunct preposition phrase, and then head and complement from your home. Thank you for listening, and still I'll give you one audio easy to understand the audio as well as the video. Thank you for listening. What you have to do is take down all the prepositions, underline the word, from that understand and think it and write it in your own sentence for the practice and see what mistakes you have done. In the next class, book back exercises as well as in Tamil I will teach you. So go on to the practice. Always if you are going on thinking in Tamil as well as in English for each and every word you can speak easily in English also. Thank you for listening.
Numbers were